Cory, the two safety guys, Javon and Stephon, you know, we've watched a little bit of film of them, but maybe you can give us a little bit of sense of who they are. You know, when you look at your roster now, who would you compare those guys to? Like, who does Javon play like? Who does Stephon kind of play like?
Yeah, I think as you look at both those guys, starting with Steph, local kid right at Central Valley, Steph, he's done he's had a lot of growth in from his junior year to his senior year. You know, we look at Steph when we really first started recruiting him and he first committed before his senior season, sort of looked at him as primarily a boundary safety. Like, he's a very physical fitter. As you guys see Brandon Hill this year play his last three or four games this year and him throw his body around, I think when you guys watch Steph's film, you see the same thing. But at the same time, too, as you see his senior film, you see him make more plays in space. You see him make more plays on the ball. You see him flip his hips and redirect and change direction, which shows you that I think he has a shot to be able to play to the field as well. So we're very excited. Think he's a great competitor, hardworking kid. And, you're just seeing great growth out of him the last 12 months and this year out of his senior year. Then as you look at Javon, he played, he's done a lot. Like, you see him playing corner when there was injuries on his roster. So you see him playing corner, you see him transition, play the deep ball. He's got some good comfortability downfield. He's cool, relaxed, good timing on hands. Then you'll see stuff where he's up closer to the line of scrimmage. And he's playing as an overhang and he's coming off the edge. Then you'll see him as a free safety, middle of the field, rangy type kid. So he shows a multitude of things as well, of being able to open up as well as be in the box as well. So both those guys, give us some flexibility between both safety positions and not just putting themselves in a hole of just playing one position.
Pat mentioned with Khalil Anderson, he could probably play all four positions. Do you and Archie have to fight over him?
Yeah, I know. This morning I said, I got my field safety. I got my safety, Arch. But no, we're just joking around. Khalil's a good football player. And I think as you look at a lot of those guys in the class, you look at Noah, you look at Tamarian, as well as the safeties. Like, when you look at those guys' film, again, they're playing a lot of positions. And, you see the ability out of Khalil in the return game and just his big play ability. But, yeah, Khalil, at the end of the day, it's our jobs to get the best four DBs on the field wherever they play at. So whatever that opportunity for him is, we're going to place him there to be put in position to make plays.
Cory, getting 6 Pennsylvania guys in this class, how important is that for the program? A year after, obviously, just one guy from PA last year in the class, and that group, I guess, the Pennsylvania group elevating itself this year.
Yeah, I think it's obviously exciting. You get 4 kids from Western PA, then we get 2 on the other side of the state. So to be able to recruit, your home state and especially your backyard right here in Pittsburgh is exciting. And I think we had great young kids that really took pride in playing here. You look at some of those young D linemen, and those guys have had a lot of opportunities, but they really took pride in wanting to play for Pittsburgh and for this university and for the city. So I felt like the state had some really good talent this year, and we went full force, and it was a team effort out of everybody on staff to go out here and recruit the heck out of these guys to keep them home.
Or what was the challenge like recruiting without in-person contact, and in some cases not having guys on campus?
Yeah, it's different, right? It's just different, and obviously the recruiting staff did a heck of a job of all the virtual tours. Then, you're doing the virtual campus visits with life skills, and you're showing them, I think during the summer, our guys were in different spots of who was on campus, who was at the facility, and FaceTiming the guys in and showing them around. So you have to be creative and think of different ways to show guys stuff. But it was unique. You have to find ways too, because this recruiting process was so different. Typically in the spring, you get out, you see them work out, then they come to your campus during the summer, if it's for camp or if it's for official visits. Then you have the season where you'll get out and be able to see them play a game. And this year it was just not able to connect with them at all besides Zoom and over the phone. So you got to find different unique ways to continue to connect with them throughout these months. So, that was the biggest thing of being creative and things not staying stale, and staying up to speed with those guys. So it was different and unique, but guys worked hard and felt like we did a pretty good job of securing these guys and holding on to them throughout these months.
Cory, it seems like a lot of the guys, when we're talking about their recruiting areas, are, like Charlie Partridge has, been recruiting South Florida for years, and, Archie in Michigan. You got the Philadelphia area. I mean, I don't know. Do you have any Philadelphia ties? There aren't any like obvious ones on your resume. How do you go about attacking recruiting this huge city with a ton of football talent, obviously, but also heavily recruited by a bunch of other schools? And how important can that area be for Pitt in general?
Yeah, I know. It was different. Like when I first got here 3 years ago, and I'm out on the East Coast. I'm out in Philly. I'm out in South Jersey. Never recruited it there before. But the big thing is, at the end of the day, people are people and relationships are relationships. And that's a big part of recruiting, right? Having authentic, good, genuine relationships, and just getting out there. You find the people, you hit the schools, and you work hard to connect. If it's with the area guys that do the 7-on-7, if it's the guys that train the kids, if it's the high school coaches, not only connecting with the high school coaches that one time you see them in January, then you see them in April, but you got to make sure you're connecting with those guys throughout the year and trying to grow and cultivate that relationship. And I think it's a big deal too as you recruit areas of trying to identify guys when they're young. And I think that stuff goes a long ways. So as you're in there, you're not just looking at those seniors or juniors, you're identifying them young, and you're showing your face. You're at their workouts, you're at their basketball games, you're at all those things. So now those kids are getting very familiar with you. They're not just getting familiar with you later in the process, but very early on when they're ninth grade and sophomores. So that was a big deal when I first got into Philadelphia, and just trying to make sure anywhere anybody turned, they saw Pitt and they saw me at a game or a workout or whatever it was. So it's been great, and hopefully, getting Javon, and even last year, as you guys look at it, Michael Statham's a Delaware kid. Or finished in Delaware, but he actually was an Imhotep kid his first 2 years. So, guys over in Philadelphia know him as well. So, just starting to open that up, and hopefully continue to get more guys from that area. And, at the end of the day, it's still, this is our state, and we want to make sure those guys from the east side of the state are coming over here as well to play for our university.